Welcome back to All About the Smokies. Welcome back to the series of First Time in Gatlinburg. To remind you, what we're doing here is it's a playlist of all the things that you need to know on your first time heading to the Smokies. And in some of these cases, it may not just be your first time, maybe your second, maybe your 53rd time. Let's get started. This video is brought to you by two of our sponsors, Amico 3167 and Jordan Adkins. Thank you both so much for sponsoring the video. They're members of All About the Smokies at the sponsorship level. That level is $9.95 per month. It gets you 2 shout outs at the beginning of a video as the sponsor per month, as well as some additional perks like never before seen videos, unreleased or unedited footage, member-only specific videos, as well as sometimes I'll give early access to a video before I publish it to the public. I will put it out there for members only to see. Now, that's the $9.95 level. If you're interested for just the footage, you don't care about the sponsorship or the shout-outs at the beginning of the video, but you do want to see the unreleased footage, it's $4.95 a month, and you can become a friend of All About the Smokies. So for more information about each level, click the join button down below. Now, on to the video. In this First Time in the Smokies video, we are going to be talking about a very important subject. And it is Gatlinburg versus Pigeon Forge. Now, of course, you don't have to exclusively go to one or the other. I mean, we often go to both on trips to the Smoky Mountains. So this is just saying, if you had to choose one to spend the majority of your time, which one would it be? So we're going to start off, and I want to put these poll numbers up on the screen here. I conducted a poll on Facebook and YouTube, and I was shocked how many people had responded. It had actually been 565 between Facebook and YouTube of people responded. So if you were one of those people, thank you so much for weighing in. Some of you put comments in there as well as to why you picked one over the other. A few of you even had write-ins like Townsend is actually my favorite, but if I had to choose, it's Pigeon Forge. So it wasn't really even close. With 340 votes, Pigeon Forge got 60% of the vote. Does that surprise you?
I was surprised. I really thought Gatlinburg would win.
And I think for the people who voted for Gatlinburg, they love Gatlinburg. Like, you can see it in the comments, but people want to go and just spend all of their time there.
Mm-hmm.
So, and for those that like Pigeon Forge, well, what are the differences? Let's go into some different topics as to what are the differences. And I have some different topics we can discuss. Let's start with one of the biggest concerns for people, and that's parking. Gatlinburg or Pigeon Forge when it comes to parking?
Pigeon Forge. No, that's where I failed. We had a friend whose family went to Gatlinburg. Well, they stayed in Sevierville, but they were going into Gatlinburg, and I just neglected to tell them that that's more of a park and enjoy the entire time you're down there. You can't just pick where you're going and necessarily go park at that one place. So
now, once you do get parked,
don't give your spot.
Yeah, but it's nice because you can't walk around. But as far as parking in Pigeon Forge, it is every place you go has its own parking lot.
Yeah. So
though traffic may be heavy at times on the parkway, you're also going to actually just find a parking place wherever you go. Now,
we had difficulty with that during Rod Run. Mm-hmm. We were down there during Rod Run unintentionally one year, and during that, just because there's so many people parking for their vehicles themselves, there was some lesser parking then, but that's the only time that I've ever...
The only time?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely right. And so getting around, that's a lot easier. Now I will say, on the aspect of parking, I want to flip it. Walking around after you've parked.
We've never
I don't know how you even do that in Pigeon Forge. Beyond like the island or
like Old Mill. We'll go to a specific place and walk that particular block.
Yeah.
But I see people walking up and down.
And there's sidewalks all the way down through there.
And there are, but it is not appealing to me. Not when it's hot and it's all pavement.
And cars are constantly buzzing by.
So I mean, it's possible to do that, but that's not anything that we have ever done.
No, once you find that spot in Gatlinburg, though, especially if you have like a hotel or you get lucky and find something for free on River Road. But once you find that parking place, I mean, you can walk from one side of the strip to the other, and it doesn't feel like a chore.
No, it's very enjoyable.
Yeah. So, we give the edge for the walking around, definitely to Gatlinburg. Save a few places. Yeah. Attractions. For me, I'd almost say it's an edge to Pigeon Forge.
But it depends on what you're looking for.
But it depends on what you're looking for. Sure.
So there are attractions in Gatlinburg that you pay for, just like you do in Pigeon Forge.
Aquarium, all the Ripley stuff.
It feels more, I don't know if you can say community, but I don't know, there's something about...
There's a vibe.
There's a vibe there that I feel like you just don't get that in Pigeon Forge.
Yep. And one other Gatlinburg attraction, type of attraction that's going to set it apart from Pigeon Forge as well is their ski lifts. They've got 3. Pigeon Forge currently, they're working on one, but currently Pigeon Forge has none. So you have 3. You have the Ober, the original, the OG. You have the Sky Lift, which has been updated with the new Sky Bridge. This is the universal symbol for Sky Bridge. And of course Anakista, which is always busy every time you go by now. But wonderful at the top.
Well, and we didn't know Ober Gatlinburg has one too that we found out about just within the last couple of years.
It's Ober Gatlinburg.
I thought you meant the tram.
Oh, yeah. No, there's a tram, and then there's the sky lift that takes you even further up the mountain. Actually, it's the tallest of all of the ski lifts, sky lifts, whatever you call it. So it's another thing that sets it apart, for sure.
Also, you have easy access to actual nature from the Gatlinburg section, even by foot, where in Pigeon Forge you're literally there for the attractions, the dining, the shopping.
There's a few things like walking along the river if you wanted to get into nature, but it's not the same as the national park. Some of the larger attractions, Wonderworks and Titanic and Wax Museum and all those things are found in Pigeon Forge. All of the Ripley's attractions, save for there's like a go-kart track now in Pigeon Forge that's Ripley's,
and the farm,
and the Old McDonald Farm Golf that's in Sevierville. But everything else, Ripley's. If you have a Ripley's Do It All pass, they're all located in Gatlinburg. So that's all dependent upon what you're after. So just do your research on what it is you want to do. And then, of course, the national park is closest to Gatlinburg for whatever that's worth. Next, restaurants. For me, my favorite restaurants, 2 of my favorite restaurants are in Gatlinburg, but Pigeon Forge blows Gatlinburg away as far as restaurants.
Selection.
Still so many places to eat.
And they're a little less busy. Some of these restaurants in Gatlinburg, you're waiting a really long time just to get in. So if you want to get in a little faster, I would say head to Pigeon Forge.
And the closer you get to Sevierville, or even further into Sevierville, I'd say the less your wait's going to be overall. And that's not exclusively true. The lodge, not lodge, but the Five Oaks restaurant, it stays pretty busy in Sevierville. But
you said the Local Goat, right?
Local
really
Goat
busy.
is one you have to make reservations for, and it's a sports bar. So Just hit and miss. And you can check Google, by the way. When you Google, it'll tell you what the average, how busy a place is and at what times it's slowest, so you can kind of plan accordingly.
Yeah, we tend to eat our dinners early.
Or late, depending on, like, but not in that main dinner window.
Because I'm thinking of, like, when we're there with the kids, or we'll try to eat between 4 and 5.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people are coming out of the mountains, heading in to eat around 6 or 7.
Yeah.
So you can, if you're wanting to just avoid any sort of backlog at a restaurant, that's the best way we found to do it. So.
Yeah, I agree. But I would definitely give the edge overall, just from a standpoint of the vast majority of your barbecue places and a ton of breakfast places and Paula Deen's and Old Mill. It's just a plethora of choices.
I'm sorry.
Get a cold Joe?
Yeah, I wasn't excited about the plethora of choices.
Plethora of choices. As you can tell, it's getting darker on screen, so we're trying to film this outside. Hotels. Now this one goes back to what I said as first. It's all about preference. Mm-hmm. So if you like that walking around downtown Gatlinburg, then a hotel in Gatlinburg might be for you, but you've got to weigh the price.
So they're pricier.
They're more expensive in Gatlinburg.
In our experience, less updated, less kept. Mm-hmm. I assume it's just the turnover, but I have been happier hotel-wise staying in Pigeon Forge.
Yeah, we'll eventually do our list of like top 5 or top 10 hotels, and I don't know how many Gatlinburg hotels will make that list, but I think 1 or 2 might. But as far as places to stay, unless you're wanting to be in downtown where you can walk out and be right in the action, I don't think it's worth it to stay in Gatlinburg myself.
Well, in a condo.
Condos are a little bit better of option.
Which I know that's not a hotel, but...
No, but you can kind of find some better deals that way. But as far as where, for us, we can stay in Gatlinburg, but you are going to pay a little bit more. Overall, for you personally, you can give your opinion here. Difference between Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg. Which would you prefer?
I think Gatlinburg. I actually voted in the poll.
Did you?
And I did. I voted for Gatlinburg.
Yeah, it wasn't enough.
It's... When we went down there and we stayed in a condo right at the edge of the town, heading right up to the park. And no matter what we did, we could go right into the mountains. We didn't have to deal with traffic through Gatlinburg because we were right there. We could stay parked. We could walk anywhere we wanted in Gatlinburg, and we were able to hit the bypass if we did want to go to Pigeon Forge. But being able to, at the end of the day, take the kids, walk down. I love walking the strip, the parkway down in Gatlinburg. It's just one of my...
It is. It's amazing.
I can't... like you said, there's a vibe to it, and... I don't know. I just like the vibe. Which do you like better?
It really depends on the trip. For me, we've gone down to the Smokies and spent the entire time in Pigeon Forge and didn't go into Gatlinburg. We've done trips where we were mostly in Gatlinburg, and then there's always that blend of the two. If I had to pick, I would say Gatlinburg as well. There's too much that I love there. If I'm going not for the channel, because I think for Pigeon Forge there's a lot more options for me to record, but if I'm not going for the channel, if I'm just going for pleasure, I mean, Pancake Pantry, Log Cabin Pancake House, the Sky Bridge, the Anakees, all the things that we mentioned.
I like Gatlin's mini golf.
Yeah.
That's a really neat...
Yep.
place to play, and it's right there in the middle of everything. So.
The village is just like stepping into a whole nother country. I don't know. Gatlinburg is unlike any place I've personally ever been. Pigeon Forge, and this isn't a knock, but Pigeon Forge is Myrtle Beach, but instead of an ocean, you've got mountains. Whereas Gatlinburg feels more of its own thing. Like, it's unlike.
Vibey.
Yeah, it's got a different feel.
It feels very lively. I don't know, like, people seem happier down there, typically.
And I know some people on Facebook and different places will complain, and even in the poll, people answer below that they can't stand Gatlinburg because people are crammed in there like sardines, and I get that. And
it didn't used to be that cramped.
But I think it's always going to be that way now. You know, and if you're uncomfortable in crowds, it isn't going to be for you. Yeah. And
if you want to go down there and you don't like crowds, try early in the day, because sometimes it's nice just to walk the parkway while a lot of the shops are still closed and just enjoy seeing everything.
All right, so if you didn't get a chance to vote in the poll, or even if you did, leave it down below. Gatlinburg or Pigeon Forge, which you choose. And I'd also like to hear from you. We're looking at starting to make some videos outside of Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge. We're not completely done with those cities, of course.
No.
It would take us years to review every place, but I would like to hit some of the areas, maybe in North Carolina, maybe at Townsend. So if you have suggestions of places that you'd like to see us go in the future, I don't know how soon that'll be, but...
or if there's somewhere you've been. We really want to see some good waterfalls.
Yeah.
So
we'd like to definitely do some hikes in the future. We've not had one on the channel in a while.
Weather hasn't been conducive.
No. All right. Well, this has been another video for the first time in the Smokies playlist. So if you're wanting to help someone and making some decisions, forward them the playlist, and it will help them hopefully in choosing Gatlinburg or Pigeon Forge, or hotel or cabin. And we have more of these videos coming to you soon. It's been another video about the Great Smoky Mountains.
We hope you have a great day.
God bless.